Don't I want to eat an Oreo? God damn it!
Like, we can cut it out, guys. Like, editing magic is a thing.
That is a fucking nightmare.
That sounds awful. I don't know what made you decide to do that, but that's terrible. Oh, that's it. That's the whole podcast next week.
I can't.
I've got to edit this later. You fucker.
All right, let's actually do the start thing.
Do you want me to introduce it then?
Why not? Give it a go, big boy. This is your time to shine.
Because I figured it was his thing. So, I mean, we should allow him to sort of do the thing. And
yeah, absolutely.
You shouldn't really
I'm on board with that.
interrupt.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick
try
to first.
I thought he said he was going to mute me first.
Okay, welcome to Joysticks and Lunatics, where we're just a bunch of failing YouTubers, streamers, and people in general. This week's episode is the special Thanksgiving episode, where we talk about games that we are thankful for, that we played in the past, and games that we have played this year. Banjo, do you want to take it?
Oh man, that was a really good intro, not gonna lie. Yes, we will be talking about the games that we did that made us into the individuals. Fuck.
Who are you people?
My brain is nothing today, I'm sorry.
No, who are you people?
Oh, I am BanjomanDudeGuy.
I am TheChubbyNerdLogan.
And I am OverpoweredPeaches.
And clearly, Banjo has lost his mind.
I never had a mind to begin with. Can't lose what you don't have. Ha ha!
You cut out there for a second. So I just died.
How appropriate.
Well, Banjo's clearly excited for this week's episode because his mind is mush. Just like my love for these games that we are going to talk about. All lovey, mushy, and I really need a love life.
Oh no.
So,
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, happy Gobble Day to you Americans.
Gobble Day. What do you celebrate? What do you celebrate in Scotland?
Nothing.
Yeah. Nothing. Like, you have no holidays.
You don't celebrate anything.
Have you seen outside? It's very depressing. Well, we celebrate Halloween, Christmas, Boxing Day, which is my birthday, which understands why we celebrate it, because I was found in a box.
I was going to say Boxing Day.
Yeah, it's the day after Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was where you all got start a fight, and I was just like, that is the most Scottish thing I've ever heard of. Everybody just looks outside and starts decking each other.
That's just a regular Friday night.
That's a regular.
Talking about Deck the Halls. Fuck you.
Deck the halls and not your family. Fa la 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 la.
Test the season to get angry. Fa la 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 la.
Oh, that was wonderful.
So, you guys gonna introduce the games that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a little scatterbrained because we don't have a very specific topic at hand here. But I guess I can give it a shot and go first, and I'd like to talk about the game that started it all for me, and that was Tanks for the Atari 2600.
Okay, it's time to look that up.
How old are you?
Actually, well,
65. We figured this out in the last episode.
yeah, I'm 112. Actually, that was the very first game I actually ever played. The first video game ever for me. My dad actually owned an Atari 2600, and we had just a handful of games at the time, and Tanks was one of them. It was just a small little game where you each had a tank and you'd move around. There was different modes where you could ricochet the bullets and try to hit each other and stuff like that, or there were straight shots. And it was just essentially like a little combat game, a 2-player combat game for it. And him and I spent many a time playing that, and it was a lot of fun. It's actually not the game that I wanted to start with. It was just the first game that came to my head. It was actually the very first game that I ever played. But the game that actually got me into my love of video games would have to be, I actually have 2. Is that fair? Is that okay? Is that against the rules? I have 2.
No, go ahead.
Well, if you can have 2,
It's
I
all-
want 2.
That wasn't sarcasm. I genuinely mean that. Go ahead.
It's all arbitrary from here, I guess. The very first game that really got me into being a gamer was Halo.
Combat Evolved or 2?
It would be Combat Evolved, the very first one. I remember actually playing it at a cousin's house in the basement, and we got super, super into it. And, Halo, I guess I could go a little bit in depth with Halo. A lot of people know Halo. Halo is kind of like, it was like the biggest thing ever. Halo 3, when it came out, was like the only thing people were talking about at the time. But Halo is a first-person shooter where you play as a character known as Master Chief, which is the last of the Spartans, and you're like humanity's only hope to defeat the Covenant, an alien organization, I guess you could say, that are hell-bent on not just destroying humanity, but activating a device called Halo. It's a big ring, sits outside of a planet. The first game takes place on this ring. The ring is so massive that it has its own ecosystem. And you learn through the game that when the ring is activated, it will destroy all life. And it's actually a weapon to defeat a parasitic life form known as the Flood that basically breeds by taking over other species, consuming them. And it just, like the name suggests, it just floods over the universe, and ultimate goal is to destroy all of life. But in order for life to flourish, life must be destroyed. And by activating these rings, it would destroy all life, therefore cut off the life force, or the food source, if you will, from the Flood. And when life springs back, because life always finds a way, the Flood would be eliminated, and it would allow life to progress in a better manner, if that makes any sense. The rings were actually developed by the Forerunners, and the Forerunners were species that actually activated the rings previously, but unfortunately failed to eradicate the Flood in their timeline, and the Flood had come back. So the Covenant kind of exists as this organization of different alien species that actually believe that activating the ring will allow them to transcend into their version of heaven. They've circled this whole religion and everything around it. And I don't know, the game is just incredibly fun. You think that it's just you're running around shooting fast moving purple aliens on the screen, but the story got me so involved in it. And I got so, I guess, just so wrapped up in the story. And I was like, damn, I didn't know that video games could tell such a compelling story. And that just drove my love for games. I talked a lot and I didn't breathe a lot.
I was just waiting to hear the gasp of air.
He's alive.
But it's actually kind of funny about the Covenant, because they think humans are these inferior species when the Forerunners were, human ancestry.
Oh, yeah. And you find that out in Halo 3.
Yes. And in Halo Legends.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And in Halo Legends. Yeah, you find out that the Forerunners are there, and actually they need humanity to activate the rings because it's all like biometric and shit like that. The third one takes place on the Ark, and Ark is a place that exists outside of the the universe, kind of like it's not like outside the universe, but on the edge of the universe, just outside the touch of the rings. So anything that existed on the arc would still exist. And that's ultimately what caused the Forerunner downfall, is that anybody that they originally had on the arc was they became the food source for the flood, so that the flood could flourish onto the in throughout the universe. So when life started spawning back, they could come back. But the arc also exists to replace any rings that are destroyed. So in the first game, is it the first game or is it the second game? One of the games, they actually destroy the ring. I think it's at the end of the first game. They destroy the ring to stop it from activating. Yeah. Yeah, it was. And that was because there's like 7 rings that exist throughout the universe. And when one goes off, it causes a chain reaction to eliminate all life throughout the whole universe. And the arc exists not only to protect anybody that's on there outside of the range of the rings, but also it has an automated factory that if any rings were destroyed, it would replace them. So the whole storyline is the grave mind, which is like the hive mind dead center of the flood, that parasitic life form actually finds its way to the arc. And while it's recreating the ring that was destroyed in the first game, they activate that ring and it destroys the arc, and therefore destroys the grave mind and eliminates all of the flood. So spoiler alert, but at the same time not, because that game's like 8 years old. Didn't it come out in 2012, the third game?
What?
I can't remember.
No, that was the fourth.
The fourth game came out in 2012.
Yeah, Halo 4. Halo 3 came out like 2007, I think.
No, that was Halo 2.
No, Halo 2 was like 2004.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it was 2004. You're right. And then Halo 3 came out in 2007.
Yeah, because remember
Halo 2 was originally released. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Because remember there was Halo Wars, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo Reach before Halo 4 came out.
Yes. Halo Wars was created by a company known as Ensemble Studios. Yes, Ensemble.
Insomnable.
Yeah, Insomitable. Yeah, in Ensemble Studios, it was created, and they were actually known for creating the Age of Empires games, the RTS games, and they created a way to make an actual, like an RTS game feel good on a console. And they were given, they were actually creating a game called, well, they didn't have a name for it. It was like Project Phoenix or whatever at the time, and they were creating their own IP and everything. But then Microsoft stepped in because they owned Ensemble Studios and was like, make it a Halo game. And Bungie didn't like that a whole lot. Which, by the way, Bungie was the one that created Halo initially, but they didn't own the IP. Microsoft did. I'm getting off topic, aren't I? Like bad.
No. Well, ever since, what was it, 343 took over, there was no dual wielding in Halo ever again.
Yeah, 343 took over. Yeah, and 343 was actually created essentially to continue the Halo series because Bungie had a spin-out deal with Microsoft. They wanted to be an independent game studio again, and they spun out of Microsoft, but Microsoft owned the IP of Halo, so Bungie couldn't create Halo games anymore. So they made 343 Industries. Well, they kind of overseen the construction of the 343 Industries game development studio, basically to create the Halo series, or not create it, but continue it. As it were. It was founded back in 2007, right after Halo 3 came out, but that's because they were switching over their independencies, and they were still on the hook. Bungie was still on the hook for 2 games, I believe, Halo Reach and Halo ODST. And once those games came out, it was on to 343 Industries to continue the Halo series.
Peaches, you alive?
Yep, I'm here. I'm just letting Banjo go.
Oh, yeah, I'm full of hot air at the moment, so you go ahead. Somebody,
I don't know what else you want to talk about. So did you have a game this year that you played that you really enjoyed and appreciated?
The game that I played this year definitely would be Forager. Forager. I don't know if you guys heard of this game, Forager.
No.
Yep. I actually played a demo on my YouTube channel way back when.
Yeah. So Forager, it's an open world adventure game. It was created by Hopfrog, which is essentially just one guy, Mariano Cavallero. I am so sorry if I butchered your name, but he actually created this game through a lot of hardships. He dropped out of school to develop video games, and he spent a year learning programming and everything, but nobody was finding interest in his games. He kept trying to pitch his games at like game jams and stuff like that, but it just wasn't working out for him until he ran out of money, moved back home, and his mom, the absolutely amazing, loving parent that she is, invested her life savings into his game development. And this game was it was destined to come out and be a very popular game because he went to a US show. He had gotten he basically won a competition to come to this show. And so he won a trip to the USA and he went to here to show off his work. And he met a friend at at the conference who was running late for a meeting. And it turns out that that person was working for Humble Bundle and offered a publishing deal for Forager once he showed him the game. And since the game has come out, it has sold over 600,000 copies.
Wow.
Nice. I had actually played that I've been playing it a lot recently on the Xbox Game Pass, and it is a fantastic game, and everybody should honestly go play it and buy it and enjoy it because it is very, very good. Very, very nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And it picks that part of your brain that's just like functions like when you're gambling and stuff almost. It's just a constant dopamine rush when you're playing this game. So this game is a crafting game, if you will. So you start out on a small island and resources keep popping up in rapid succession, and you collect those resources by chopping down trees or getting rocks and breaking the rocks and stuff. And you use those to craft things like furnaces that allow you to increase what you're crafting and stuff. And as you do things, anything that you're doing in the game, whether it's like crafting, you're using your skills, looting, or anything like that, you're getting more experience through the game, and use those experience points to unlock certain skills that allow you to create more things. And then eventually you start gaining money, and then the money that you get, you can use to buy more lands, like more islands that will connect to yours that will have random stuff on them. So you'll find one that is like a dungeon, or you'll find one that's a library that you get special stuff and rewards for putting resources and things that you find while crafting into it. Or you'll find random NPCs that offer certain things, or puzzles to open up treasure chests that give you more rewards. And it's just a really fun, chill game. You know, you can kind of play it at your own pace. They're not being rushed to beat any sort of objective. You're just crafting, leveling up, getting money, harvesting resources, killing enemies. You know, it's just a lot of fun. It's just a feel-good game. And it's available for Windows, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One. The game didn't come out this year. It actually came out early in 2019, but I started playing it this year and I fell in love with it.
Hell yeah.
Well, Peaches,
That's my jam.
do you want to go?
That is your jam. Jam.
That is my jam. That's my jelly and my jam. I
Strawberry
put that shit on my toast.
Jam. I put that shit on everything.
I put that shit on my toast, and then you know what I do? I eat it. I put it in my mouth and go, num, num,
You said you put it on your toes?
Yeah, I put it right on my toes. I step in it, and I post it on OnlyFans.
You still haven't sent me that link yet.
Oh, you'll get it for $9.99.
All right. So the two games that I enjoy actually date all the way back to the Sega Genesis versus the Nintendo era, essentially. So I played both of these games, and I played them regularly as a kid. and this is really what got me into gaming. So the first game that I played was on the Super Nintendo, and if nobody knows about it, it was a release title for the Super Nintendo. It was Super Mario World, and this was my favorite game, and I will still play it to this day. I don't think I'm as good as I used to be, but this was just a fantastic little game. I don't know if I'll go into as much detail as you did with your games, Banjo, because I'm not that well rehearsed with this at all. But essentially, Princess Peach gets captured by Bowser. Big shock there. And she's taken to Dinosaur Island. And Mario goes there and he finds Yoshi. And he has to help get all the eggs back for Yoshi. And that's the story. So it's your typical, 8-bit side-scrolling, platforming game that Mario is known for.
What was that? Parody the Platypus?
Have fun editing that out.
No, keep that in. That's Parody the Platypus.
That was fantastic. Holy shit.
Okay, so anyways, continuing on. This was released in 1990 for the Super Nintendo.
I wasn't even thought of.
And yeah, I'm about 29 years old right now. So
I was a year old.
This was released, looks like, it actually doesn't say in English. American.
When was it released in Japan then?
It was released in Japan the 21st of November, 1990.
Then I'd say 1991 or 2.
In 2 days. Yeah, so about 1991 probably for the States when it got brought over. So if you haven't checked this game out, they have it on Switch, which if you like Nintendo's emulators, it's not too bad on the Switch. You can definitely go and play it. It's a 2-player game with Mario and Luigi riding Yoshi and saving the princess from all of Bowser's. How many children does he have at that point? He's got 8 kids.
Yeah, the Koopa kids
that you have to face off against.
The Koopaling?
Yep, you got to face off against the Koopa kids. You get to destroy their castle, and then you get to kick the shit out of Bowser. I'd actually lost the game footage, but so I did a speed run for this game because I know where all the secrets are, and it took me about 20 minutes to beat it from start to finish.
Super Mario World?
How many times?
Yep.
How many times do you hear Yoshi go?
Bang.
1 billion times, and it just depends on how willing you are to hear that sound.
Wow.
Waffle.
And then you just dump them. You just dump them off a cliff whenever you need to jump higher.
Just imagine any time you did that to Yoshi, all you hear is like a 8-bit screech.
Okay, that is some .exe sort of creepypasta horror.
Well, like Sonic.exe. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
That was stupid.
It was so dumb.
Old creepypasta was stupid.
That was so incredibly stupid. Yeah, so let's see about this. I don't really have much in the way of history of development or nothing. Just the plot is pretty basic.
Just your average Mario game.
This is the game that I will actually play on a regular basis with my wife. We will
yeah,
just
dude.
Some nights just start this game up and just start playing together. It's really nice.
So you can either get that on Switch, you can go to eBay and buy a used SNES for about $90. Then go to a yard sale. You can go to a yard sale, pick it up without a label and just permanent marker written on it, and then find out that a dead boy lives in it. So that's always fun.
Man.
You've heard of the legend of Ben drowned. Legend of Zelda.
Anyways, we're gonna move on, so we don't get this.
We're talking about
cursed.
creepypastas,
so we don't get this podcast cursed.
It's already cursed.
So
it's got Logan in it.
The second game.
Fuck yeah.
So the second game that I played as a kid was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sorry.
What was that?
I was just saying, sorry, we didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead, apologize. Do it harder.
I'll do it harder, Daddy.
Anyways. Okay, so the other console that I played a lot with was the Sega Genesis. And the very first game I played on that was Sonic the Hedgehog. And it was released in 1991. And the reason why I loved this game so much because it was released this same time that I was born, and that always meant something to me. That was always something special. So I played both of these games actually a lot at my grandmother's house during the summer, and I have very fond memories of just hanging out, just playing these video games and waiting for summer to end and my parents to come and pick me up, basically. So I don't really know much about the plot of the game. It's with these old Super Nintendo and Sega games, the plot really doesn't go very far. It's literally just, hey, Dr. Eggman did this. You've got to go and save the animals and kill him. That's about it. So it's the same as Mario, except, of course, Sonic moves a whole lot faster. But it is a 8-bit side-scrolling platformer. Actually, technically, neither of these were 8-bit.
Okay, 16-bit.
These were 16 and 32-bit. We think of 8-bit like, pixel art sort of thing, but the games like these were a little more advanced.
So you don't know a whole lot about the story of Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, I just played the game. Why would I pay attention to the story? Essentially, Dr. Eggman, he captures animals and he turns them into his little robot slaves, and Sonic comes along and foils his plans.
Correction, his name's Dr. Robotnik.
Actually, his name in the official lore is actually Dr. Kintobor.
Yeah.
Then he gets turned into Dr. Robotnik.
Dr. Tamago?
Dr. Tamagotchi.
And then for some reason, he turns into Dr. Eggman because I believe
Sonic X.
They thought he looked like an egg, so they decided to call him Eggman. And this is from Japan, so.
Yeah. So essentially, it's not just him turning animals into robots and stuff like that. It's actually his quest to find the Chaos Emeralds, very powerful objects that will allow him to basically take over the world. And he takes animals and puts them in his robotic machinery and everything to create his robot army, and in effect to thwart Sonic the Hedgehog in stopping him from collecting the Chaos Emeralds.
Well, I also watched the cartoons, so that kind of bleeds in together. So,
do you remember Sonic Underground?
Chili dogs.
Sonic Underground. Man, my cousin actually has the album to that, and he actually sent it to me, the actual CD to Sonic Underground.
That is fantastic.
So remember thinking we'd all be Sonic, but then we turned into Manic?
What?
I turned into Tails, Miles Prower.
Okay, you've seen Sonic Underground, yet you just said what to Manic?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. I watched Sonic Underground when I was 6 years old.
It's been a really long time.
Come on, Sonic's green brother who's a stoner and he's on drums.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about right now, and I'm too lazy to look it up.
All right,
you know what?
Go on.
No, I had nothing. I was just going to say, Logan, go ahead and explain this. Tell me the plot from start to finish of Sonic Underground. Tell me everything you know about it.
Should I just move on to my next game?
No.
Absolutely not. Logan, you're doing this.
I'm going to go... I'm gonna go edit the rest of the podcast.
No, I'm just gonna read the lyrics to the opening.
No, you have to tell me from memory. Tell me it from memory.
Okay, from what I can remember Okay, from what I can remember is Sonic, Manic, and Sonia are triplets who are all royalty, but the Queen had to give them up to hide them and protect them. So now they're a band that travel around the fucking, I'm not sure, the Sonic world, looking for their mother and thwarting Robotnik's plans. And then they use their instruments that can turn into vehicles, and Sonic is obsessed with chili dogs.
What a synopsis.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and look this up so I can watch the whole series from start to finish again, because you've convinced me, my man. That sounds like I'm missing something major in my life right now, and I have a giant hole that needs to be filled with Sonic Underground and chili dogs.
Okay, it starts off with triplets born, the throne awaits, a seer warns of a deadly fate. Give up your children, separate, bide your time, lie in wait. Sonic Underground.
Triplets born, the throne awaits, a seer once of deadly fade.
Give up your children,
separate, bide your time, lie in wait.
Sonic Underground. Sonic Underground.
I love you guys. I love you so much.
They made a vow their mother would be found.
It's like we're in a bar. Just
That was the best. That was the highlight of my entire day. Thank you guys so much for that.
all right, my laddies.
He's lost in the void again.
Well, since we're in a Sonic mood, yeah.
Still my turn.
Well, I know. I'm just looking up Sonic music. Oh yeah, see, since you played Sonic for an entire summer, is Greenhouse Zone theme just imprinted in your head?
Yes. So many of the remix versions are actually really cool.
They are.
If you ever get a chance. So, the game that I played this year, and it is actually on the list for the Game Awards. It is. I don't believe you two have played it yet, but
No,
it is
I have not.
It is the Ghost of Tsushima.
Tetishima.
So, listen, I can't pronounce this thing already, and I don't need your help for that. So, anyways, the plot has to do with a Mongol invasion of the island of Tsushima, and the main character Jin Sakai has to basically go around and help liberate the island while also saving his uncle. So, let's see if I can really collect my thoughts here.
I remember this game. I haven't played it. I haven't gotten a chance to play it, but I remember watching some gameplay videos and everything of this game, and the game looks beautiful.
It is a gorgeous game, from the scenery to the music. Everything about it is gorgeous. And just the exploration alone is very enjoyable. I'm a big autonomous gamer, so I really like to look around and to find shit.
I did hear that they did add multiplayer.
Yes, I heard about that too, but I haven't gotten a chance to try it out because neither of you fuckers have this game, so...
Well, let me check the game store.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get it right now. Yeah.
This game was developed by Sucker Punch Studios, and
I love
they
that
were
movie.
the ones. Son of a bitch. They made games like Infamous, Second Son, and Infamous 1 and 2.
You had me at
Those
Infamous,
are really,
not
really
Second
fun
Son.
games. What?
You had me at Infamous. I'm a huge Cole fan. I hated Infamous Second Son with a passion.
You did not like Second Son?
I don't want to become Smoke.
Well, you don't. There's other powers.
Maybe I'll have to give it another shot.
I still consider it fun, so you can just fuck right off then.
Okay, bye guys.
Haha, got you.
So, anyways, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. You can run around, find cosmetic items. You can collect stuff to upgrade your armor and your weapons. You can collect what would be ninja items, which allow you to sneakily kill somebody instead of following the samurai code, which is facing your enemy head on, which actually has a sort of story element. Your uncle is very upset with you, apparently, for doing the ninja thing in this game, but there's really not any way around it. So it's kind of something that you have to do throughout the game, anyways. So, but it's still it's just really fun for me to just run around a camp and stab and kill people. I don't know. Maybe I'm a sadist, but that's just my mindset. Who's posting in the chat? Oh yeah, I remember him.
It's Manic. Is that what you said his name was?
Yes.
That whole TV show just reeks of fan fiction energy.
It really is.
It really does. Like,
His hair looks like a spider.
Wasn't it like early 1990s this came out? Not Ghost of Tsushima.
yeah, I know.
Sonic Underground.
Probably, I'd say like mid to late 90s. That's probably when it came out.
Jeez, oh Pete's.
Jesus fucking Christ. Manic's last name isn't Hedgehog, it's Acorn. King Sonic and Queen Sally, brother of Sonia, Acorn, Manic. There's incest somewhere. Anyway, please continue. I am sorry for interrupting.
Okay. Anyways, I'm going to continue with Tirishima here.
Yeah.
So there's just so much to this. There's Japanese legends. There's a bunch of samurai and ninja stuff going on with this game. It is definitely something, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out right now if you enjoy this style thing. I am a complete weeb when it comes to these types of games, and I was way into this. This was actually other Japanese developers were ticked off at this because they sort of did a pretty good job of representing Japanese culture in this game, and it was made by a white dude. So,
oh damn,
gotta love that anime.
Well, people were saying it was a better Japanese game than what were some of these others?
Nah, was Sekiro Die Twice Japanese?
Yes, people actually compared it a lot to Sekiro, but it was a different game. What were some of the other Japanese developers that were surrounding Ghost of Tsushima?
What about Genji, Day of the Blade, with the very realistic giant enemy crab?
What?
You never heard of that? The giant enemy crab? It was a thing that happened in Sony E3. It was like back in 2006 or something. There was a press conference where they were revealing this game called Genji Days of the Blade, and they were talking about how it was very realistic to Japanese culture and everything. And they're like, here we have a giant enemy crab, and it's like this 8-foot tall fucking crab, and it's like you flip it over to attack its weak point for massive damage. He was right before that happened. He was talking about how realistic it was to Japanese lore and everything. And then there's like, also fight this giant enemy crab.
Okay, well, continuing on, it was the developer of the Yakuza games. And he decided that Japan would have done a much better job in making this game than Sucker Punch Studios. So that's what I understand about that. Logan, stop posting in the chat.
Oh, he's confirming my my thing about Genshi. He's posted a picture that quote unquote resembles Japanese lore, and it shows like the Wizard of Oz cast, essentially the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, and Dorothy.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Like, I just looked up the game and all I seen was like Monster Hunter armor.
You absolutely, if you ever get a chance, I would totally look up that video of the giant enemy crab. It's fantastic.
So, anyways, those were my 3 games that I had. Logan, are you ready?
Yes, but does this haunt your memory?
Oh, I never talked about my second game.
Oh, Banjo, continue your second game then. Well,
no. I'll bring it up in the end.
Wait, what? You had another game?
Yeah, because I said at the beginning, I said I actually have 2 games. Was that okay? And then I never talked about my second game.
I thought your second game was Halo.
No, Halo was my first game. Halo. I talked about.
What about Tanks?
Oh yeah, Tanks. Tanks was like an honorable mention. It was like the very first game I ever played, the very first video game I ever played. But it didn't put me on the path of actually enjoying video games as much as I do
To
today.
the dark side.
Well, I'm just gonna haunt Peaches, memory with this.
It better not be porn.
Ah!
What?
Never mind, I'll do it at the end of the podcast. I just got ear raped by an ad.
Okay.
Anyway, Banjo, continue your game.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. So I forgot to mention the second game. Okay. So the first game was Halo, and in that game, it is very story rich, very story driven. My second game actually isn't so much story driven because there's a lot of speculation when it comes to the story of it. The story is basically left up to the player to kind of figure out on their own, kind of thing, because it's so loose, as it were. But I'm not sure if anybody's heard of this, the cult classic Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes.
Yep. I've heard of that.
Yes, Shadow of the Colossus is a game that was developed by Team Ico, and of course it was published by Sony. It came out originally on the PlayStation 2, and it was an odd game at the time because it was released back in like October of 2005. And the reason why it was such an odd game was because it fell away from a lot of the traditions that games originally had. So in the game, you play as a character known as Wander, and you bring a girl to this forbidden place. It's known as the Forbidden Land, and she's dead. She's like super dead, hella dead. And you're trying to bring her back from being of that dead, probably before she decomposes, because that'd be fucking gross. But you don't really know who she is, what she is to the main character. You just know that she's just crazy dead. So you go into this forbidden land and you find out that there's this spirit there known as Dorman, who's like this god character, if as you will, that basically says, hey, I'll totally resurrect that dead chick right there, but you got to do something for me. There's 16 fuckers running around the land out here that I want you to kill. And once you kill them, they'll destroy this statue in here. And once all 16 statues are destroyed, you will get your wish. So you go out into the land, and it's a very, very massive land. And the game is kind of open, but it's not. It's very linear because you can only fight one of the enemies at a time. And these enemies are the Colossi. Massive fucking beings. They're huge in comparison to how big you are. And it's not so much a fight because you have a bow and arrow, and you have this sword that actually counts as your traveling companion in terms of finding where you're going, because you raise it in the air and you move it around, and where these light beams collect is where your next target is. But you have to fight these colossi in more of a puzzle style, because you have to find their weak points on them and find those weak points to attack, and that's the only way that you're going to kill them. And you do that by getting on the colossi, you know what I mean, and finding those weak spots and you stabbing them. But it's a puzzle every time, because sometimes you can't just get on the colossi and climb them. Sometimes you have to lure them to certain areas, or have them do a certain action or whatever in order to break certain aspects of their bodies so that there is a climbable area to reach those weak spots. And that's it. That's the whole game. There are no smaller enemies in the game. There are no points of interest really to collect. There are small little things that you can find, like these white-tailed lizards that will increase your stamina, or there's some fruit on some fruit-bearing trees that you can find occasionally that will permanently increase your health. But that's it. You know, you're fighting these colossi, and every time you fight a colossi, it's very melancholy, I guess, because sad music plays. You end up getting consumed by their essence, and you get teleported back to the main temple, where the story continues. And the big voice or whatever, Dorman, tells you, almost like a little riddle of what you're looking for your next target, and that's the whole game. And there's, like I said, there's not a whole lot of story to it. There's, at some points after you destroy certain colossi, you'll see small little cutscenes of people coming to stop Wander from doing this forbidden spell. And that's ultimately how the game ends. The game ends with Wander getting possessed by the spirit of Dorman and fighting off these knights as they show up, because they show up right when you destroy the last colossi. And they end up casting this sealing ritual by throwing your sword into this pool. You get pulled into it. The girl comes back to life, and Wander is now but a small little baby infant with little horns on their head. And what that means is it's not a whole lot of information. You don't know why he's doing that. You don't know why Dorman was sealed up to begin with. You don't know who this girl is, kind of thing. But it all leads to kind of like the game is like a spiritual successor to another game called Ico. And Ico is like a cult game. It had a cult following and everything, where essentially you play as a little boy in a prison with horns, and you're trying to escort this girl by escaping the prison, and they're throwing shadowy figures and stuff out at you in order to try to capture the girl and bring her back to her cell type thing. So you have to fight off these shadowy figures, all while solving puzzles and keeping an eye on this girl to make sure she doesn't get collected by the shadows. And it's at that point you have to wonder, is the boy with the horns that you play in Ico actually the infant boy that is reborn from Wander's sealing away at the end of Shadow of the Colossus? Does he somehow manage to get in this prison or whatever? So the story is very vague in that sense. And like I said, the game is very non-traditional, but there was just something about it. It was going from shooting aliens in Halo to this very chill puzzle game almost, where the story is incredibly open, that just showed me that there's such a wide range of video games. There's so many things that could be a video game. It could be story, it could be gameplay, it could be graphics. There's not just one thing that makes a game, and that really set me on the path of my gaming, really.
And there you go.
Yeah, there it is. I feel kind of bad because I was able to basically get my entire coherent thoughts out there without any interruptions, yet Peaches is stumbling through trying to say everything about his games, and we keep interrupting. I'm so sorry.
I mean, it's okay. You go into a lot more depth into the games that you've got. I mean, a lot of my games, they're not really heavy on the story. So Sonic and Mario, really not so much. It's very basic, very easy. And the Ghost of Tsushima is, it's not hard to describe.
But Ghost sounds like the kind of game that you have to experience for yourself.
It really is, honestly. I mean, if you really want to understand the game, you definitely need to go and check out on your own.
It's £40 on the PSN store.
It's worth it.
Oh, I know, but I only have like 200 left.
So you got to save your money.
No. I'll just get it pre-owned around Christmas time.
Sounds like a good idea.
I'd also highly suggest, out of the two games that I had talked about, everybody give Shadow of the Colossus a shot. Now, it is a PlayStation exclusive, but it was originally released for PlayStation 2. It was remastered and bundled with Ico in a collection series for the PlayStation 3. And then it was also remastered and released for PlayStation 4.
And another thing on that, on the PlayStation Network, for those that had the PlayStation
Plus.
What is their subscription service? Yeah, PlayStation Plus. It was free for a time, maybe in August. So if you had picked that up and haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. Same with Ico. Ico wasn't all that bad either.
Yeah, Ico was actually pretty fun. I thought it was pretty good. I had never heard of it until it came bundled with Shadow of the Colossus. And then I was just like, one day I'll give it a shot, and I actually pretty enjoyed the game. It was pretty fun. I understand why it actually had a bit of a cult following.
Now, have you checked out The Last Guardian yet?
I have not played The Last Guardian. I've
Yeah.
seen gameplays and stuff of that, but I haven't played it myself.
You do not want to.
We'll check it out. We'll check it out on a different day.
God, Guardian is horrible.
Oh no.
And that'll do it for our business. See you guys tomorrow.
What? I didn't even get to talk about my games.
Talk about your games, damn it.
Yeah, you go
Okay.
ahead. You talk about your games. I've talked enough.
It's Logan's turn.
The game from my past is one of the very first games I can remember on the PlayStation 1. And like this is a game I would regularly try playing complete, but it is actually so fucking difficult and unfair. I've watched so many speedruns of this game, and I keep on trying to do the same thing because there's an invisible bridge in this game, and you can only pass it a minute a day, and it pissed me off. And the game I am talking about is Digimon World. This game released in Japan in the 1999 for PlayStation 1, but it got released in the West in 2001 on PlayStation and Microsoft Windows, which is actually a surpriser.
Why?
It's a single, because why would a PS1 game come to Windows?
It must be pretty good.
Well, just you wait, because it is still one of the most difficult games for me to try complete this very day. It is just very unfair because you have to wait for daily events to happen. And not to mention, what was it?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna ask. You said daily events, and I was wondering, does it take place like? Is it an actual clock, like follows the actual time of the day, or does the game have its own internal time that you have to follow?
Oh, the game has its own internal clock, so you could just be trying to run around the island, find these certain Digimon who like appear at certain times, but they don't appear on certain days. But it's very hard to find out what day you're on unless you save. It doesn't tell you Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. It just tells you day 1, day 2, day 3, and it pisses you off. But to start off the game, the introduction is you're a small child who goes to a playground with his little Tamagotchi with his friends. He returns home, his little Tamagotchi lights up, and then he gets sucked into the digital world and meets an old man with a cane and hairy feet, big bushy beard called Gigimon.
Okay. I mean, so
it's been so long since I've seen or done anything with Digimon. I did get the
same.
Digimon, like, what was that? That's
Cyber Sleuth?
What was that? That's Cyber Sleuth game. Yeah, I got that. That was pretty interesting. But it's been just a really long time since I've seen or done anything with Digimon. I used to watch it as a kid. I would have to wake up early on a Saturday every morning, about 5 o'clock for me, and run downstairs and turn on the TV real quick just to watch it. So,
dang, that's a lot more effort than I was willing to put into it.
My parents did not want me to watch it either because there were some things they didn't find suitable for kids, but I didn't care. I watched it anyways.
Was it Devimon?
Oh, for sure.
What?
Was it Devimon?
I don't remember.
Speaking of Devimon, he got a new fucking mega form, which is basically based on Venom and Spawn.
Man, you are talking to two people that have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
Well, Peaches will remember Devimon.
Okay, hold on. Let me look it up real quick and see.
Oh, I remember this guy.
Yeah, he's. Oh God, man, this takes me back.
Yeah.
In case anybody in case anybody was wondering what Devimon is like a 7'8" tall, lanky man in a gimp suit with 6.5 foot long arms and Swiss cheese for wings.
And a lot of belts.
He looks like Batman.
Yeah, he looks like Batman.
Okay, basically, in the reboot of Digimon Adventure 2020, they recently did an arc with him. So he became the main villain for a few episodes, where he actually just became an ultimate, then a mega form right away. And I posted his mega form in the group chat. The mega form is called Dan Devimon.
And in case anybody's wondering what he looks like, it's exactly what I had said before, but his wings had patched a few holes. He's now down on all fours, and he's got giant master hands coming out of his back with some smoke.
Just imagine Spawn having a baby with Venom.
Just imagine a stick bug mixed with a with like a giant ant and giant human fists coming out of his spine.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Also, House is there. House is there with his cane.
Wait, what? I love that. Wait, I think that's because the voice actor for Devimon was the actor for House.
What's his name? Hugh Laurie?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's his name. Hugh Laurie? Is that not right?
Who was Stuart Little's dad? But yeah, this game was published by Bandai before it became Bandai Namco. And this game didn't do very well in the West compared to it doing very well in the East. Because people proclaim it as it's just a copy of Pokemon. But they're both two different aspects. Digimon.
What game was this called again?
Digimon World.
Digimon World.
PS1. And if you ever want a horrifying image, just look up Digimon World Cherrymon. Cherrymon looks like he is on fucking crack.
Cherrymon?
Yes. Cherrymon is the ultimate level Digimon who is basically a giant tree.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Oh, wait, you said Cherrymon, not Rule 34. Hold on.
There is a lot of Rule 34 stuff on Digimon.
I can imagine.
Oh, well, yeah, gee, I wonder.
Yes, Angelomon. But
Cherrymon Rule 34.
No, don't do that.
I typed it in and I can't. Our systems have detected unusual traffic from your computer network. I am not a robot.
That's because you got a VPN going on.
This episode is sponsored by NordVPN.
Oh, for the love of God, don't click images.
I actually do, because there's really not a whole lot that come up with images.
But yeah, the intro scene, well, the intro before the main title of this game is actually pretty fucking badass. Basically, it just starts off as a kid looking at his little Tamagotchi, two connecting together, and then it's just a huge 3D battle between Metal Mamimon and Virus Black Metal Greymon. It's so cool. Well, I thought it was cool as a child.
Meanwhile, the rest of us are like, what is this game?
Basically, you could start off with two Digimon. The daytime Digimon, aka Agumon, or the nighttime Digimon, aka Gabumon. Either one doesn't really matter until you have to get requirements for certain Digimon to join your town, because apparently a virus happened and Digimon became feral and left the town, so you kind of have to beat their shit in and make them come back. This game is very unforgiving because your Digimon can die of old age, sickness, and once you lose all three hearts, they turn back into a Digi-Egg. So say you lost a battle 3 times, your ultimate can become a Digi-Egg.
They just get unbirthed?
Yes.
Don't Google that, kids.
So you have to So you have to grind up from like a baby all the way to ultimate again, and the stat gain for that game is so unbearable.
Digimon Avi positioning.
No. But yeah, this game like had a bunch of sequels for it, and it actually did very well for itself. But I think the last Digimon game that got released in the West before 2010 was Digimon World Championship 2008, which it was a very weird stylus game for the Nintendo DS. It was kind of like a Monster Rancher game, but you had imagine Pokemon Ranger but with Digimon and less appealing story. That's literally what it was. But back to Digimon World. It's just one of the games that I could keep on talking about because there's single player mode where you could, battle people. Well, not battle people, like gather Digimon, get them to come back to your city, battle bosses, go through the story, like try find out what's wrong with the Digimon, try meet certain Digimon, spend days on end just fishing for Seedramon to appear.
Sounds like a good time, but I haven't played the game, so I know nothing about it.
It is very stressful.
The only thing, my entire history of Digimon was watching the Digimon movies. I seen a couple of them. I'm pretty sure there were two separate movies, if I remember. One had a giant clown rabbit that shot its balls at people, and then one had a digital bug guy that was hijacking the inner space and making people's toasters go crazy.
No, that was it was two different movies in Japan, but the same movie in the West.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're thinking of the first Digimon movie.
There you go. There you have it. That's my whole history with the show. I never really got into it. It's not that I didn't want to get into it. It's just that I never had the means of getting into it. I didn't really get a chance to watch a lot of the cartoons like that when I was younger, unless I was over at my cousin's house. Not that my parents forbid it. It's just, it was never something that I got around to watching at home. But my cousin was super into Digimon at the time. So I would watch it with him, and that's where I actually watched the movie and everything. But I never really was able to get into the show. I'm actually pretty sure he had Digimon World for PS1.
You've probably seen him play it at some point, and you're like, "What the fuck is this?" Because you have to feed your Digimon, make sure it poops in a toilet, and if it gets angry, it makes little screeches like "ah, ah."
That's the funny noise for the end of the podcast.
That's also true to life.
I guess any kid does that.
Yeah, exactly. So, what is the game that you played this year that you're super
I wasn't
super
finished.
involved in and loving?
I was
What
finished.
the fuck?
Like, this was my go-to game. Like, when I was younger, my dad had a chipped PS1, so he could play like fake PlayStation 1 games on it.
Oh yeah.
So I was able to play it like that. But then, like, I was looking through my, like, I had this cupboard filled with Tibbles, DVDs, and PS2, PS1 games when I lived with mom at my, like, really old house when I was, like, 4 years old. And I actually found the case for Digimon World, so I was like, yeah, I can actually play this without, like, it being chipped. Puts it in my PS2, starts playing it, and then I realised how unfair it is. Because if you're not careful, you could literally have the wrong Digimon right away.
Really? It's that unforgiving?
Yeah.
You could just choose the wrong one?
Yeah, it can just digivolve into a wrong one right away. If your stats aren't high enough, it could just digivolve into a poop.
Oh my gosh.
And people think I'm kidding about that. Look up Sukamon. Sukamon.
Sukomon?
Yes, and Numemon. Numemon.
Rule 34.
Stop looking up Rule 34.
You don't want it of this. You don't.
Nope.
You
Nope.
don't.
Nope. Nope. I can't hit that back button fast enough.
But yeah, even Digimon's popularity right now, even though they're like still working on Digimon Survive for the PS4 and Nintendo Switch, the Tamagotchi, where Digimon started off from, is still going very large to this day. And they're still creating new Digimon for that Tamagotchi and releasing them like a jar of Fireflies every single year.
Dang.
Like, they don't do it like Pokemon, they don't wait like years to introduce hundreds upon new forms or Digimon every few years. They like release a bundle like every so often. Like, they'd release say a preview of 6 or 1 month, and then a few months down the line they're like, remember the forms that you've seen? Here's the evolutions of them, the de-evolutions and whatnot. So it keeps on like adding lore to it.
That's pretty cool, actually. I like that.
Yeah, plus like someone I know that lives in my town got one of the Tamagotchis, and you think that you'd only be able to get like 12 Digimon on it. No, you get like 80. So
Holy
if you're
crap.
if you're able to like, battle people online with it, yes, you can battle people online with it if you're able to connect it to your phone with Bluetooth.
What is this device called?
The VPET.
The VPET.
Yes. Just type in Digimon Tam.
Innovative and quick to market PET packing solutions. I fucked up somewhere.
Yeah,
I found it. I think I used to have one of these actually.
I think everyone did like back in the day.
I actually had one of these.
Yeah, they're still going very fucking large, and they've redesigned every single sprite.
Holy crap. I remember having one of these, and you'd link them together and you'd battle with other people.
Yeah, they're still releasing them very largely to this day. Many different ones that hold like special Digimon in them, special ones that you could get like custom Digimon in them by DNA Digivolving with someone else to get a certain Digimon.
Damn, dude, I want one of these again.
I think there's like apps for them as well. You okay there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. My nose decided to fart.
Nice.
Nice.
So yeah, let me get up the link for where my friend got them, and you could see all the fucking Digimon that just like appear on them. But while I look it up, I will talk about the next game that I have been loving this year, and it's one of the games that made my Twitch channel go up in popularity. I'll give you a hint.
It is Star Wars.
I wish.
Knights of the Old Republic.
That is a good game though.
It is a pretty good game, actually.
Nicopara.
That's your game, not mine.
It's not my game. Never played it, never bought it, never will.
I own it every episode, and I damn well plan to play it.
Yet he refuses to do it for Waifu Wednesday.
I refuse nothing.
But yeah, the next game I'm talking about is Persona 5 Royale.
Yes. And I actually
yes.
have it too, so...
Yes, because I got you into it.
I approve.
So, Persona 5 Royale is a day-to-day game dating sim where you have to build your bonds with people, go to school, try not fail any tests, and make sure you don't get killed in the meantime. By going to this forbidden... Would it be classed as forbidden? If it's like an alternative reality that you can enter by an app on your phone?
The other games, actually, they enter by other means as well. It just looks like it kind of updates itself to the modern times. But yeah, you basically go to what is essentially the sort of darker side of people. It's sort of a physical manifestation of the darker side of human beings.
Yes, and that place is called Mementos. Basically, people can be cunts in them, or they can just be like wimps.
So, am I wrong? But I thought Persona 5 was like you played as a band of thieves that went into people's brains and fucked with their psyche to stop being cunts.
To an extent.
Yes, that is also
okay.
Persona 5 Royale.
Okay.
So essentially, who's the first guy you face off against? Just to give Banjo an idea?
Kamoshida. Kamoshida
Yes.
is such an asshole.
Well, he's a rapist, isn't he?
Rapist, pedophile, abuser.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy is a PE teacher who gets fame because he wears a blank smile and because he was a Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, and the whole school basically covers for him as he abuses the male students and sexually abuses the female students.
Jesus.
And your main character encounters him and works very hard to... Well, I'll let Logan explain how you change his mind, essentially.
Okay, basically, people who are like incredibly horrible and evil have these places called palaces in them, where they basically see it as their domain. Like Kamoshida sees the school as a castle, and for like anyone who's near the end of the game, like say Makota's sister, the courtroom is a casino for her, and so on. Basically, you have to go into their palaces, try get to their like quotations treasure, and steal it. But you have to do it within a certain time limit, or you're like literally just fucked. From my experience in Persona 5 to Royale, Persona 5 for making mistakes was so horrible because they made you go back a week in game to make sure you don't fuck up, where Persona 5 Royale just like puts you back to the start of the fight.
Yeah, and also with these games, it's kind of like with Final Fantasy 2, they actually have a bunch of save files that you have access to. So you can go back to an old save file if you fucked up so bad that, you need to go back.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that the Persona series is kind of like the Final Fantasy series where it's not like a continuation of the series, but each of the games are their own unique story?
Correct.
Yeah, I
Okay.
would say so, with using the same sort of mythos.
Yeah, like they have their own anime, their own games, and their own manga series. I'm currently reading through the manga and trying to find a fourth volume, but like the manga is totally fucking different to the games because like obviously they have to change a few things because they're able to get away with things in a book than they can with a game or anime. But yeah, if like you don't like dark, gritty, gruesome shit, Persona 5 Royale really isn't for you because correct me if I'm wrong, Peaches, but there's suicide, rape,
Mm-hmm.
death,
Mm-hmm.
abuse,
Yep.
plagiarism, bribery, politics.
I just like that he listed it off. Some of the worst crimes you could ever commit, and then plagiarism. Man, you got to be careful. You got to give me a trigger warning before you say words like that, because you've literally just... I'm freaking out over here, okay?
I'm sorry. Uh, prostitution. What do you call it when someone uses their like students' work as their own?
Plagiarism.
Yeah.
Plagiarism or cheating, yeah.
It's basically one of the games that you have to just experience the story for yourself, even if you just watch someone's playthrough of Persona 5, Persona 5 Royale, or anything like that. It's the dialogue, the story, your choices which matter because you create these bonds with people, and obviously, like you hang out with them, you give them gifts, your bonds rise up, and once your bond gets to like rank 10 for say, if that person has a persona, it would basically upgrade to the next form and become more powerful than ever. There are a few things in the game that I like do nitpick, and it's when like obviously Peaches would agree with me on this, is when it's the CGI models, when they look at the camera, they kind of look like Light Yagami when he's about to go crazy in Death Note.
There's not a better way that you could have described that.
There really isn't. But I do love the animation segments, like when you're playing the game and it just cuts to like the anime, so you can just sit back, watch it. But I really don't want to go too much into this story because it has to be something you play and experience for yourself.
It would be definitely a lot of spoilers.
Yes, but I will just say that you start off by being blamed for an assault which you didn't do. You get sent away. You go to this old guy's coffee house, which you think he is a pimp at first, but he is just a really good dad. Peaches, back me up on this. Did you think Sojiro had a woman? Or lots of them?
I will neither confirm nor deny.
And the music for this game is so fucking beautiful.
It is amazing. I've been listening to it ever since, really.
Ever since I first streamed it. And that was like back in April, May.
Maybe. Like before the dark times?
Yes. And I am still streaming it to this day.
It is a very big game. What is there, like 70 plus hours to play with it?
Oh,
damn.
No, a lot fucking more. 70 plus hours.
60 hours.
Not that much. But it's only like 60 to 80 hours if you just do nothing but the story. Like, you don't fuck about in the game, you don't explore, you kind of just like try get through the fights of the shadows or the minions through and through, and then just go straight to the boss fights, and then just end every day by sleeping, or fast forward for it. But if you don't do, well, if you do what I did, and try do it as much as possible every day in the game, it can be up to like 130 hours.
Yeah, I'm actually looking it up right now, and it says that like the main story of Persona 5 Royale specifically is around 103 hours, but a completionist is about 144 hours. That's a big fucking game.
It really is, because Persona 5 Royale adds a third semester to it, so that has a lot of more shit as well. Not to mention the DLC fights and stuff.
Damn.
But yeah, back to the music. If you love rock and jazz, this is your forte. It is magnificent, and I am sad to admit that I listen to the soundtrack on a daily basis. My top 3 songs for it are Last Surprise, Life Will Change, and Rivers in a Desert.
I like Butterfly Kiss, Layer Cake, and Last Surprise.
Is it Last Surprise by We.B?
Lee and Lee, actually.
Ah, you're I'm a Lee fan.
Yeah, she's really good.
I will admit, she is really good. But, I also forgot the intro songs for the anime, Break In, Break Out, and Dark Sun. Both of them are beautiful as well.
So all in all, a good game that everybody needs to play.
Yeah, like this, well, obviously it would be my game of the year, but it came out last year in Japan. It took 6 months to get dubbed. That's how, like, complicated this game is. And like, when a game comes from the east to the west, it isn't like 2000 and the early 2000s where it took 2 years to translate a Pokemon game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 10 out of 10 on my book, but that's just my opinion.
My entire experience with Persona 5 is playing as Joker on Super Smash Bros.
Just get the fuck out of here. Leave this podcast right now.
But Banjo, if you ever bought this game, you'd love it. There's a Persona game on Steam right now as well. That is Persona 4 Golden.
It is definitely something that I was actually looking into. I was actually very interested in playing it, especially after hearing you and Peaches talk so much about it. I was doing some research on it, and it looked like it was definitely something that I'd be willing to play. So
yeah, but would you put the hours into it?
That's the question.
I have a ton of games that I still got to play, and I haven't been able to put the hours into it. So
Yeah, I have so many games.
And then, thanks to the podcast, I get to play the games that we're talking about every week. So it's either this or Stardew Valley, where I'm working on my farm.
Peaches, you've heard the intro to the anime, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Banjo, have you?
I didn't watch much of the anime because I don't want to spoil anything on the story. So
I don't think I ever got around to watching the anime before.
Okay, the first opening has such a catchy fucking like tone to it. I just want to like be able to get it and have your opinion on it. So let me know your opinion on this.
Okay. They're both gone. I can say whatever I want. I hold the power. I hold all the power right now. And none of this will be discovered until the editing. They'll never know. They'll have no idea that I said snorkel. That was something I said. That was a word right there. It shows that I don't do very well loneliness. In isolation. Quarantine has fucked me up. I don't know what's going on. I'm constantly picturing penguins playing football. That's just something that happens. And that's never happened before. Penguins can't play football. That's silly. I mean, they got stubby little feet. They can't kick a ball. I mean, they got flippers. They can't hold balls. What is that? It's nothing. Dude, not gonna lie, that song slaps ass.
Well, I'm glad that you like it.
that's most Persona.
I
It
really enjoyed
is.
that. That
Why?
was really good.
Why is it I said that on Twitter, and now that's the only thing that you say now?
Because I loved it so much that I just incorporated it into my vocabulary.
I barely even remember what I said. It was it was about Fire Force, and it was like this anime is objectively trash, but the intro slaps so much ass.
Yeah, Inferno
Yeah.
by Green Hill or Miss Green.
Miss Green Apple.
Ah, that was
Yeah,
close.
now I say it all the time.
Well, thank you for that.
Thank you for that. I love that. I love every bit of that. So I guess we should take some time to discuss what our next podcast is, because it's going to go back to our normal format that we have, and we're going to be talking about a game. Logan, what is that game?
I really don't know.
I totally did that on purpose. I wasn't sure if you remembered.
You picked this.
I know.
Moonlighter.
Yes, we're going to be playing Moonlighter.
If you could hear my fucking brain when you said it, all it was like,
Just dial up noises.
Nice. Yeah, so this looks a lot like Legend of Zelda. Like
old style Legend of Zelda.
yeah, it definitely does. It's very much like set up the same way.
Minish Capish.
Very much so, but more pixely, more 8-bit style. We call things 8-bit, but it's actually not 8-bit.
So yeah, Moonlighter is a game where you go into dungeons, you slap some fools up, give them the old business, and then you collect some treasures and stuff. And then rather than just selling those treasures to a shopkeep like you normally do, you are the shopkeep, and you sell those items in your shop. And you get to adjust the money, you get to create prices and everything, and see clients' reactions, the people that come in, the customers and everything. You get to see their reactions as to see whether or not it's a good price. And if too many people are upset about the price, then you can go and lower the price down to see if you can sell it for a better price. Or sometimes you might be selling something a little too low and you can get some more money by increasing the price. So it's all like a interesting little mechanic in the game where you have to fight through like 4 different dungeons or whatever, and then sell your shit. It's interesting. I don't know. I liked the idea of the game because so many times you just take stuff at face value. You know, you play a random roguelite game or whatever, and you get items and stuff. You just go to a shopkeep, you sell it to whatever the price is, and the price is the same no matter who you sell it to, kind of thing. So it's interesting that this game gives you the chance to, bargain for the prices of the items that you receive in the dungeon.
On the Xbox Game Pass, you can get it for free, but you can actually get a bundle as well. So I think I might get the complete edition and check it out for like $20.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Don't buy it from eStore.
Oh, you can buy it from the eStore, no problem. In America, but in Scotland, it looks like they want to fuck you.
Well, I can see if there's a better price for it elsewhere, but
it's £19 on the PSN store, but I'm just gonna play it on Game Pass
because it's free.
I wonder if the codes are the same. Like, if I were to say buy the game through the internet, got the code for the Nintendo Switch version of it, and then sent it to you, could you use that American code to get it in your eShop?
No.
No?
Yeah, because consoles are set up localized, aren't they?
Yes.
So,
but Nintendo Switch had this like weird tricky thing, but I think if you change your VPN on your Nintendo Switch to a different location, you can buy stuff from a store there. That's pretty much how most PokeTubers bought the new Pokemon games early.
Interesting. So I was wondering about that. If you got Nintendo eShop cards or whatever, say like for a certain amount of money or whatever for US dollars, so you couldn't use that code
No.
in your version. You have to have like in
like
euros or whatever.
Pound.
Yeah, pound, euros. It's all the same thing. It's not US dollars, though. Pesos.
Oh yeah, question. Did something happen to Joysticks and Lunatics YouTube page?
Nope.
Because I'm going through my subscriptions and it's saying that the Stardew Valley episode just uploaded 44 minutes ago.
You're not supposed to see that. I had no quality control. You guys weren't stopping me.
Hey, that's my excuse.
Sorry, yeah. I'd gotten the whole thing ready to go, and I was just like, oh, and it just wasn't like released yet. That's all.
That's hilarious.
Luckily, it looks like everybody's on Spotify, but I'll try to, as soon as you get the edit approved, I will get it on the YouTube channel.
Get it on. Oh yeah. Oh,
so anyways,
yeah.
back to the topic at hand.
Just gonna shut me down, huh? That's how it is.
Yep.
Let's
Move
have
on.
a good time.
Move on.
I guess we're not moving on.
I guess not. Apparently, we're gonna be stuck on this for a little while. So, with this game? What are your predictions for it?
No idea.
I had no idea.
Not a clue.
I'm actually pretty excited about playing this game because I'm a huge fan of like the top-down, forward directional dungeon crawling roguelike kind of games. I've always been a fan of those. Since the original like Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past games, this is like my favorite genre game. So I'm really excited about playing this. I'm not so excited about manning a shop because I'm terrible at deciding what things are worth. So I know I'm not going to be the best at that, but it's going to be an interesting concept. I actually really like the idea of it. So I'm definitely interested in playing that part of it. But this game just looks like a lot of fun. I've had it on my Switch and PC for quite some time, and I've given it a look, but I didn't give it a serious look. I've maybe played about 10, 15 minutes or so of the game for when I first got it. But unfortunately, it was right around the time that other games were coming out and started taking my attention. So I didn't get a chance to really delve into this. So I'm really excited that we're going to be playing it here for the podcast.
Before we finish off, is there any spam mail?
Well, we're not to that yet. What are your... So you don't really know what to expect from this game, Logan?
Well, no, I've seen it on the Game Pass a few times, but it never really, grasped my attention.
Yeah. So with it, I thought it was just a regular old adventure game where you go into a dungeon with the idea of trying to sell items in a shop and setting the price. That's gonna be a bit. That's gonna be a time for me, I gotta say.
Do you think it'll involve tax?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Will you involve tax in your prices?
I mean, we're not playing SimCity here. We're playing Moonlighter.
To be honest, from the fucking thumbnail of the game, I actually thought it'd be somewhat like Bard's Tale.
Never really played Bard's Tale, so
But you kind of know where I'm coming from for it.
nope.
Okay, basically just by the thumbnails, they looked very similar.
Okay.
A Bard's Tale. That's a game that I know I own but never played.
You have
I can
many,
say that about
You
lot
have a lot of
games.
those. You have a lot
I
of
have a
those.
lot of games.
yeah, you have many things that you don't play with that you own, just like your penis and your kid.
True that.
Jesus Christ. Don't put those two words in the same sentence together.
He isn't denying that he doesn't play with his kid. So go be a good dad this Thanksgiving.
I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
And sell him to a family who will love him.
Are you talking about a turkey or the kid?
You currently don't love that screaming child?
I was talking about my penis.
Oh my god. You walk up to a random family, you open up your jacket and you're like, "Can you guys give him a good home?"
What do you think of this? You like this? Is this doing anything for you? $9.99.
Right, well, I'm no longer a fan of this bit. I want to move on.
So it's basically the Curious Case of Benjamin Button, but instead of an old man baby, it's just Banjo's penis.
It's in my old man penis.
Then Button is the perfect descriptor.
Yeah.
I think I killed Logan.
Well,
yeah, he sounded like he died there.
If you separate your balls and put that with your penis, you could kind of put it on like a stuffed turkey and just say it's a special turkey.
It's time to give thanks, honey.
Oh no.
Okay, well.
Well, there you go. That's the next game that we'll be playing. Definitely be sure to tune in for that. Look forward to that gem. And that, words. There are words that are supposed to come out right now, but they're not actually.
Do you want me to take over?
Please.
Do we have any spam mail?
Not on this end. No, actually, we're fresh out. Just checked. Nothing. Out.
Clean on my end too.
Okay, my time to check. Why did it just load up YouTube? Okay, nothing on my normal. Let's see business. Oh my god! Mr. Did Ackerman got back to me.
The saga continues. Go on.
Dear Ben, a compliment of the day to you over there. In regards to your email, I am pleased to inform you that I feel so relieved because you accepted the proposal in good faith and in the sole proprietor of this transaction. I shall furnish you with all the information we need to complete the transaction. Furthermore, since our previous email to you talking with anyone from the bank while transaction is going on is incredibly high risk. This guy wants my bank details again.
Send him a picture of your ass.
Okay, basically at the end of it says, having fully read and understood what this involvement inquires, I want to thank you for your cooperation. I will need to process the paperwork. Kindly provide your details as required below. Name, home address, phone number, address, nationality, name, nation of residence, a scanned copy of your driver's license or ID card.
Yeah, just attach a picture of your ass and say attached is a file with all the information provided.
I am guessing that you want your Scottish insult of the week.
Absolutely.
Yes. What is our Scottish insult of the week?
Okay, this is one that I fell in love with at the start of the podcast, and I was trying my hardest not to laugh. Okay, basically it goes, I have neither the time or the crayons to explain this to you.
Oh my god. The crayons, eh?
Oh man, that's probably my favorite one. It's my favorite one so far.
You can't beat tits on a pigeon.
And that is gonna be on the zombies thumbnail.
I'm excited.
Oh man, I'm excited too.
Do you want another one before we go?
I think one is fine.
Yeah.
One at a time.
Oh come on!
Yep,
I
one
just
at a
found
time.
it.
Don't want to run out of steam.
I won't.
Hey,
I
save
won't.
it for the next podcast. Save
Yeah,
it for the
save
next
it for the
podcast.
next one. It's a nice cliffhanger.
Well, where can you find us on Banjo?
Depression.
Yeah, that'll about do it for this one. So thank you all so much for listening. If you got this far, you're a trooper. And you can find us on any social media platforms such as Twitter and Facebook. You can find us on Twitter at JoystickLoons, and you can find us at Facebook at Joysticks and Lunatics. You can also follow.
Sorry.
I think Logan just died.
Yeah,
I didn't think I said anything funny.
Shut up.
You guys are so mean to me.
Well, not me. Just save it for the next podcast. Write it down. Save it for the next podcast.
You can also follow our individual social media accounts. Our Twitter, definitely. That's what I meant to say. You can find me at BanjomanDudeGuy.
You can find me at OverpoweredPeach.
And you can find me at TheChubbyNerd1.
I think I'm supposed to say something here.
Where can you find our podcast at?
You can find us on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah, you can.
No, that's it. I'm cutting that. That is what.
That is perfect. So thank you all so much for listening.
Make sure to follow me on Twitch.
Yes, definitely. Follow Logan on Twitch at TheChubbyNerdLogan and give him a watch. He's a silly boy. He's got a funny accent, and it's good times for all.
Saying I have a funny accent when you live right beside the fucking state that goes, yep.
That is true.
They gone to my sister to the black man.
Okay, anyways.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much for
Please cut
listening.
that out.
If you no.
Anyways.
Thank you all so much for listening. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, whatever, give us a rating on any of the podcatchers that you're listening to us on. It definitely helps us out. If you want to give us a mention on any of the social medias, you can share a link with the podcast with anybody that you think would find it interesting, or maybe somebody you really hate. You can make them listen to it as well. That's a good way to get back at them. And and again, thank you guys so much for sticking to it. This has been a great time, and I hope everybody here had a wonderful Thanksgiving, has a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're celebrating it a little late, since this is coming out the day after Thanksgiving is going to be celebrated. But I hope you're all having a wonderful time. I know it's very difficult with these times that we're going through right now, but you can't really do a whole lot of major social gatherings and everything like that. So keep it small, keep it intimate, have fun with it, and share all your good times with your loved ones.
Please make sure that your gran sends us knitted sweaters. It gets very cold this time of year.
Well, thank you all so much for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
See you in the next one.
Maybe.